going to do a series of calls. Like, for instance, Erynne and I are going to be doing this next 3 to 4 part series on leads. They are the lifeblood and the foundation of your business. Nick Greco is eventually going to be doing a call on annuities. We've got several different team leaders lined up with some incredible basic topics that you are going to want to make sure you're well versed in, make sure that your team is well versed in. We are recording these, but if you can watch them live and be a part of it live, there's just something about that plugging in. Everybody's sitting there watching, learning the same thing. But again, they are going to be recorded just in case. So tonight it's myself and Erynne Wilson from West Georgia. And we're going to be talking about leads. we're going to split it up here. I'm going to talk about the direct mail leads that we have available for our new agents. And then Erin's going to be talking about the internet leads and just the successes that a lot of our agents are having with the internet leads. At the end of the day, remember this: a lead is a lead is a lead. There's different types of leads. There's different prices of leads. There's different categories of leads. But at the end of the day, a lead is a lead is a lead. So if I've got 200 internet leads or I've got 20 direct mail leads, a lead's a lead. And we're going to talk about the differences in them, the pros and cons of both, if you will. And that's what this first call tonight's going to be about. What are leads? What lead types are there? Erin's going to continue talking next week about investing in leads. We're going to do part 2 next week, investing in yourself by investing in leads. I'm going to follow up in part 3 with how to work your leads to the bone, getting the most out of them. Erin's going to talk some of that on the internet leads as well. But just how do you take a lead and go from, boom, here's a client that's asked for help, has sent in a request for help, to going and doing what we all want to do, which is making a lot of money in this business and getting ourselves towards that financial freedom that we all crave and long for. So basically, at the end of the day, like I said, a lead's a lead's a lead. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to talk about the direct mail type of leads, and I'm going to show you on my screen here an example of what the direct mail leads look like. So if you notice here, zoom out just a little bit. Direct mail leads. So the way a direct mail leads works is simply that it's direct mail. Basically, what's happened is we have sent we've garnered raw data from county courthouses all across the country. And that data is looking for people that are becoming seniors. We target them with these final expense mailers. And then the other target market for audiences that we send mailers out to are the mortgage protection leads. And the mortgage protection leads are basically when people buy a house, refinance a mortgage, take out a HELOC. All that's public data at county courthouses. And we send them a mailer just talking about, hey, with this new loan that you took out for this mortgage, a lot of financial responsibility that you're now having with a mortgage and you're going to leave your family with if you pass away, unexpectedly. And so the mortgage protection is a way where we can reach out to people who have just bought a home, refinanced a home, and help them see the value of obtaining life insurance to help cover that mortgage should they pass away before it's paid off. And so with these direct mail leads, basically what's happening is, hundreds of thousands of these mailers are going out every single week across the country. And with these mailers, they're letting people know, hey, you have an opportunity to purchase life insurance because of this major life event that you just had. Fill this form out, send it back to us, and we'll get somebody in touch with you to get you the information that you need. Well, that's all well and good, considering the fact that somebody actually fills it out and goes and mails it back to us. But at the end of the day, we've got parts of the country where these direct mail leads are not available, or we don't have agents that are requesting them. And so if agents aren't requesting them, we're not sending mailers out trying to generate leads in areas we don't have agents requesting them, if that makes sense. So basically the way it works, if you're in an area that has direct mail leads available, and if you'll notice here at the top, I'm gonna talk about real quick here just the newness of the leads. You see this top here, lead ages, 0 to 8 weeks. So if a brand new lead, a direct mail lead, is less than 2 months old, we consider that an A lead. That is just FYI, that's going to be your most expensive lead type out there, a brand new direct mail A lead. You say, well, why are A leads so good? What's so special about A leads, or I'm sorry, direct mail leads, as opposed to all the internet leads out there? The internet leads are way cheaper, and yes, they are, and Erin's going to explain why in a minute. But the advantage to the direct mail leads is this is as close as you're going to get to having so many data touch points that a client's going to have a hard time not remembering filling this out. So if you look at the lead here, that mailer is going to come to them with their name, all their information printed out here on the lead, and it's going to say right there on the card, as a resident of whatever state they're in, you're entitled to more benefits not provided by government funds. You now have access to state-regulated life insurance programs, which will pay 100% of all your final expenses up to $35,000. Basically, that card comes in the mail. Client reads that, looks at it and says, huh, life insurance, yeah, I know I need some. I know it's important. Not sure if I've got what I have is enough. And boom, they're sending these cards out. Now, notice here on this lead is a place where they can actually fill their information out with a ink pen, pencil, marker, chalk, whatever. I've seen it come in all. And they fill these leads out. They put their name, their spouse's name, their address, their phone number, their ages, and they mail it back. They walk it back to their mailbox and put it in the mail. So you have a lead here where somebody has taken the time to open the mail. And a lot of times they come in those value packs. Y'all know what I'm talking about? Those value packs that have like all the coupons for the month in it from all your local businesses. And sometimes those value packs will say, look inside, you might find a real $100 check, right? And all the poor people are just like, oh, is there a $100 check in it? Well, they come across these kind of cards. And these cards are in those value packs talking about life insurance. Well, how do I know? Well, I was looking for my $100 check in the value pack last week. I come across one of these cards, and that's where they send them out. And people, when they're looking for the little checks, they come across these cards. They're like, life insurance makes sense. I should probably check this out. And they fill it out and send it back in. Now, here's the beauty of it. When that card comes into you, you have a card that has that person's unique handwriting on it. It has any phrases or what they might call themselves that most people don't call them. So it might be addressed to Robert Henderson, and he writes his name as Bob Henderson because everybody calls him Bob. It's little things like that when that card comes in the mail, and then you go to call that lead to schedule the appointment to go sit with them. That stuff gives you credibility, gives you the power, if you will, of reminding them, hey, you sent this card in. You're the one that asked for help. You're the one that mailed this back looking for help. My job is just to get the information that you requested out. And of course, you'll sometimes get, well, I don't remember doing that. And I'll be like, yeah, you remember you put your name down as Bob instead of Robert. I guess you go by Bob because you put Bob Henderson. Your wife's name is Margie. You're 72. You've got her at 71, and y'all still live at 131 Any Place Lane in Landrum, right? And it just gives you the ability to jog their memory with the words that they wrote on there, the specific information that they gave us on that card. That's why these kind of leads are most expensive. And so the way we do it with these direct mailers is if it's a brand new lead that just came back into us within the last 2 months, those are going to be the most expensive lead. Nobody has gotten that lead before. Not a single agent has touched that, called that, seen that lead before. That is brand new to you. And so what we do is we give it in about 2-month increments, about 8 weeks at a time. You get it for those 2-month increments, and that is yours for those 2 months. If you don't do anything on it in those 2 months, which if you don't, you're probably not going to, because 8 weeks is a long time to work a lead or a group of leads. But if you don't do anything in those 2 months, then it comes available for resale at about half price, and it becomes a B lead. A B lead is 3 to 4 months long. So a B lead is going to be way cheaper than an A lead, but it's also now got a little bit more age on it than an A lead would. And so here's what I will tell you, having done this business for going on 14 years now. The nice thing about B leads and C leads, I think my screen's still sharing. If y'all can't see that, let me know. The nice thing about B leads and C leads that are 3, 4, 5, 6 months old, a lot of times the agent that had it prior to them never reached out or followed up with that client, like never. And there's tons of reasons why. Lazy, scared, maybe they tried to call them, the client didn't answer, and so the agent just gave up and went back to Walmart and got a job, or who knows. But for whatever reason, in a lot of cases, that client has never been contacted. So what's happening is you might see a lead that's sitting in inventory, like a C lead or a D lead, and you're thinking, oh, that's only $6 a lead, $8 a lead, they're old, nobody's going to sell on, or nobody's going to buy from old leads, and you're mistaken prejudging these leads that are actually cheaper and in a lot of cases never been even followed up with. So again, a lead is a lead is a lead. You don't know why it's never been followed up with, or if it's never been followed up with. You just know you got a good deal on a batch of leads that are a few months old. and start making phone calls, booking appointments, and making sales, and your profitability is higher because you weren't having to spend a bunch on brand new A leads. So here's the way it works, just in a nutshell, with direct mails. If you decide that I want to start getting a direct mail subscription and you want leads to come into you every single week, as many as you can afford, with direct mail, these leads are the most pristine leads when it comes to running local business in-home appointments. That's how I cut my teeth, was in-home appointments. When I started, we didn't just not have internet leads. Let me tell you, we were mailing the application, FedExing it overnight to the corporate office. And then we had to wait for them at the corporate office to scan it and send it into an electronic file to the carriers. And then we had to wait for the carriers to get it to underwriting. Underwriting had to look it over and decide if they were going to be approved or not, right? So y'all babies on here that are brand new writing business in the last year or two, y'all got it pretty damn easy, because it's like telling you before you even submit it whether they're approved or not in most cases. If we had that, I'm just telling you right now, y'all wouldn't know nothing about me, because I'd be on my own island somewhere. But I digress. The direct mail leads are awesome for running in-home appointments. They really are, because usually if you're getting direct mail leads, they're local in your area. So if you want to set up a subscription for direct mail leads, understand you do have to commit to it for 8 weeks. It's an 8-week commitment. So if you say, hey, I've got $500 I can spend a week on brand new direct mail A leads, and I want a subscription for as many as $500 a week will get me, you're committing to that for 8 weeks, because it takes them time to send the mailers out and start generating the leads. Those leads got to get sent out. We all know the mail system seems like forever nowadays. Then the client has to read it, look for their $100 check, stumble across your final expense card, fill it out and mail it back. It's got to come back in the mail to us. Then we got to scan it and get it to you as a lead. It takes time. So it's an 8-week commitment. Don't be saying, oh, I want to commit to buying leads and I need leads, I'm ready to go kill it. And 2 weeks in, you're like, I don't have the money and I got to quit this. And it don't work like that. You got to commit to it for 8 leads. But again, talking to your agency manager, coming up with a game plan, will definitely be able to help facilitate getting you the right lead flow and the right lead resources. A lot of info, could still go on a ton about this, but these are the direct mail leads. Again, these are the most expensive because you have the most obvious, concrete, hey, you filled this out, here's your handwriting. If all else fails and you can't get them on the phone and you show up at their door and it's just, hey, here's your information, Robert Anthony Riddle. And look how sloppy his handwriting is. It's prettier than mine, but it's still pretty dang sloppy. And when you show up the front door and he sees his handwriting, it's really hard for them at that point to say, I didn't fill that out. That wasn't me. You know, when it's the same ink or same handwriting he's been using for 70 years. So direct mail are great because they're good for local in-home appointments. Thanks to COVID, we've done a big transition into the virtual world, which is where a lot of these internet leads come from. And I'm going to let my co-host on this call, Miss Erynne, introduce to us internet leads, tell us a little bit about internet leads, kind of the cost factor on them, why they're a lot cheaper than direct mail, but still how they're a useful part into your lead flow for your business. So Miss Erynne, will you take it away?
Yes, Mark, thank you. I want to kind of spin from direct mail going into virtual. Direct mail was amazing. It's just more opportunity for the amount of ways to reach the person. The phone number doesn't work, you can door knock them. If they don't answer your call and the phone number works and you leave voicemails and texts, you can door knock them. So you get a lot more use out of them because you can drive to these people's homes.
Yep. And
And
we're
kind
gonna
of
we're gonna
setting up
talk about
direct,
that in week 3 too. I'm gonna dive real deep in that.
yes,
Sure,
dive
y'all are
in.
plugging
I
into
just,
all of these.
yeah, I just want y'all to realize the pros and cons too, when you're looking at it and not just automatically making up your mind and thinking, I don't want to hear direct mail. Y'all really got to be eye-opening, especially starting out, the pros and cons to both. But moving into digital leads, there's so many out there. I'm going to upload it into Telegram because there's multiple ones, and then there's still multiple options that you can get through your direct upline. Um, if you go on the ARC and you're looking at alliance leads, integrity leads, you're going to see etho leads, you're going to see LPT leads, you're going to see bang bang leads. Those are internet leads, but you run in person. They're not quality like direct mail because it's not handwritten, but just kind of pull up and I'll send. This is Bang Bang leads. And I've worked these. So they're off the internet. You print them out and I treat them like a direct mail, but I can't say you filled it out. You handwritten it. So their memory is not the same. So you get a lot more. So, for example, 50 leads with Bang Bang is $250, where, direct mail is way more expensive. So you can start with this. You can door knock leads because this is going to be in your area, but it's a internet lead. So it's not a lot of accountability if they're going to remember it. And then, Legacy Life, we do a lot of virtual leads, and I like that. That's a little more personal for when they fill out the application online. Talk to your direct upline specifically for setting up that subscription, but you have to have a minimum of, I believe, 5 non-resident licensed states. So that's an addition for virtual leads you need. I believe it's going to be anywhere from $500 to $900 a week, depending on what you go with for your virtual leads. But you get a lot more leads than you do direct mail because you're going to do a lot more calling. So the difference from direct mail to virtual is the quantity you're working with, because you're going to go through a lot of horrible leads on virtual to get to the good ones because it's a lot more dialing. Going back to virtual, my mind just went back. The vertical ones, those are really, really good quality one, because my favorite question is, what's your favorite vegetable? That's going to stand out. And these people, when you're calling them, especially virtual, and you're not in the same state, you're just going to look like another Medicare enrollment number spam. And I had a lady I kept calling. And then she's like, I told you not, don't keep calling me. And I said, your favorite vegetable is corn. Literally did it. And she goes, I am so sorry. I mean, you just do what you got to do, but knowing that question of that quality of a internet lead, that's what I would go with. So you're going to have to think quantity and quality, what's worth it? Like, you get your teeth cleaned, you get your, whatever your truck getting service. You really want to pay a little more for good quality. That's how you want to think about your business with these leads. The Bang Bang, I ran appointments direct mail and Bang Bang the same day, where it's 50-50. And I can tell you the same thing with each. A lead is a lead is a lead is a lead. You don't know. Well, all these numbers are horrible on this virtual. Okay, direct mail. All these numbers are horrible. I mean, you don't know. It's a lead. It's leading you somewhere. Good God, when I started out internet with Ethos, I made sure it was in my area because I was so scared not getting anybody on the phone that I still wanted to door knock them because I was so comfortable. I can't get them on the phone. I can go door knock them. Think outside the box of what's going to work for you, of what direction. Again, we can go on, but investing in direct mail or virtual, there's so many different opportunities. Direct mail, you can get older leads. You don't have to jump in straight to a GMR, but really listen to these next 4 weeks today and 3 weeks later, the ins and outs, the pros and cons, and pick the cons over the other cons, what's going to best fit your situation of what can you commit to financially? What can you commit to stepping out of your box of, do I want to do more dials with these virtual leads? Or am I going to pay really, really cheap for these let me look. Honestly, my personal opinion, these LPT leads that I'm going to send y'all, very, very cheap, very, 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 very hard. They're just, somebody's playing bingo at 2 o'clock in the morning. They fill that thing out to get it off there, and then you move on. Quality, quantity, what route are you going to go? Practice, yeah, start with that cheap, but don't expect a lot because the quality of them are down. So that's where you want to go back to virtual, your upline, about when you're talking about virtual, what are you using? Like when I'm talking to my upline, I went through what Nick and Mallory are doing. They're the ones that were more in on moving forward with virtual, and I followed their path because I wanted to see what's happening. So really listen in, take notes. So when you're deciding, you stick to it and commit. Don't do it for a week. Don't do it to 2 weeks. Stick to it for a good month. You're not going to know what's good until you have consistency with it. If not, you're going to say none of this works. That's just not how it works. So, um, one thing I want y'all to hear before we transition to next week too is Mark can give you a testimony, but I really passionate want to tell you when I started this business, it takes and it tells you on that direct mail 4 weeks to get your GMR started. So every Sunday while I was waiting it to come in, I was getting a batch of instant purchase old leads in Birmingham. I was driving an hour and 45 minutes one way direct mail so I can get practice on older leads. That's when I went full time. It was working. I looked at it as a lead. I didn't already have it in my mind. Well, somebody called. No, take that off, stay focused. And then once I got going, it also took the pressure off that I'm not spending 40, 50, $60 on a lead. It's way cheaper. So it takes the pressure where I can learn. Think of it that way. Then you just transition to higher quality. Same with virtual. When I started out virtual, I started on the cheap old ethos, a 10 question etho lead. I had no clue what I was doing. It was my second day virtual turned into a $3,600 a month annual premium. And then I've written them another policy and then another one. You never know. A lead is a lead. It doesn't matter. I think I paid $8 for that lead. It you have to look at it open minding and how well you're going to work it no matter how much you paid for it, where you got it from. So you just got to take that mentality off and already, take the bumpers off and just stay focused on I'm going to get what I put into it. So going back to virtual, I started with very cheap ones. And again, I told you I wanted to make sure, even if I drove an hour, I can get to them because the thought of not getting them on the phone at all or the number not working and that was it, it made me feel so weird because I love the backup of I'll just door knock them in between appointments, have an open mindset. And then once I got confident, then I added higher quality leads virtually, just like I did direct mail. Um, when you're looking at the vertical ones, higher quality, you're going to invest more having your non-resident license. And then, because you've got to have a certain amount, and then you have to commit to a certain amount of leads each month for subscription, but they're worth it. It pays for itself, but you've got to commit. You've got to work the leads. Again, just like Mark said, a lead is a lead is a lead. It's just what path do you want to go of working at home, what you want to invest, driving out in the field. But they're all amazing. It's just what are you going to do with it? And that's what we're going to follow up is how do you work a lead down to the bone? Last example, and then we'll kind of close up, and then I'll make sure that I have these information of the leads put in the telegram. This past week, I don't know why I did not remember when I called them again from this summer, made another appointment in home. And I'm like, I pull up to one lady's house. And I was like, crap. I was like, I know I can't beat her policy, but I walked in, re-reviewed her policy. She didn't remember me. I acted like I didn't know her, made sure everything's good, had it mailed out. And then I saw a form where she had Globe Life. And I said, oh, you have a Globe Life policy? No. Because last time I couldn't beat her policy. This time, oh, those are my sons. Well, let's verify them. I replaced two. That was a lead I could have just never called again. Second lady, the same day, I was like, oh gosh, I think she talks about her neighbors burning her bushes. I'm thinking back in this crazy woman's house. Well, this time she's opened up to me before I even really talk about her final expense about money that she doesn't want to go to the bank about, that she wants to move, that's in a variable annuity. She's not happy with it. She starts pulling out statements. I'm following up with her tomorrow about maybe moving $200,000. Again, I already met with these people twice. Maybe I just didn't try hard enough, or it just was a day off. It's always good. Marcus said it taught, no matter what you do, it's good to circle around. You keep your leads from 3 months ago, circle back around. You never know. Again, a lead is a lead is a lead. Work it to the bone, no matter what direction you're using, what the quality is, what the price is. You just need to treat them all the same. And then you're going to see everything succeed of you put the hard work in, it's going to pay off. Mark, any other follow-up other than I can't
Yes.
go into detail more like Mark did about the direct mail because there's just so much, but this is going to give you information where to find it on the ARC. So what you find, you can pull up and then you can reach up to your upline.
Yes, and Erin's going to be going deeper next week on investing in yourself by investing in leads. And she'll be able to talk more. Hey, what does it look like if I've got 200 a month, 500 a month? Like realistically, what is that going to look like? And something she hit on, and I neglect to mention it quite often, especially talking to a lot of newer people, because I do want to be real, but I also don't want to scare the crap out of people. But at the end of the day, like sometimes you just need reality put in front and be like, hey, here's the expectation. Because I think a lot of agents come into this, Erynne, and they think, oh, here's a way to make good money. That girl's out there killing it. That guy's kicking ass. Like I know I can do that. Like let's go. And then boom, here comes some leads, or now it's time to actually get some leads and start kicking ass, right? And then that freeze of just you feel like information overload. I've been studying for my test. I finally got licensed. I've gotten all these contracts coming in. It's just like, all right, we just call leads, right? And then it's like, well, there's different types of leads. And then when you start dialing the leads yourself and you get beat up a little bit because people don't answer the way that you think they're going to all answer you. You think they're all just sitting there waiting around the phone for you to call. And they're like, my God, we've been waiting on this phone call for weeks now. Like, when can you be here first thing in the morning? Do you want your eggs scrambled or over easy? Like, please, just we've been needing this coverage. Please come and see us. It's not like
Mhm.
that. Like, I wish it was. I'm just telling you, it's not. And what Erynne said a little bit ago, especially with the direct mail leads, like you've got to be willing to go where the leads are. You have to go where they are. When I got into this business, there were not direct mail leads in Greenville, South Carolina. They weren't there. There were other agents that were gobbling them up. And when I came in as brand new, there was no leads available. You know where the closest leads were that I could drive to? 3 hours away on the other side of Columbia in Sumter, South Carolina. And for shits and giggles today, I went on my CRM and just typed in Sumter, and there's clients, and it says policy or client, policy written 13 years and 2 months ago. And it's just like for a minute, I was just like, holy crap, it's easy to forget the struggle in the beginning because
Mhm.
the rewards and the results of fighting through that struggle and I took a minute, like I swear to God, I sat in my chair and I took a minute and I just thought through, God, I remember waking up at 5 in the morning to be at my first appointment in Sumter, South Carolina by 8:30. I remember running 10 appointments in a day and leaving the last house at 9:30 at night, 3 hours away, knowing I still had a drive home that wasn't going to get me there till at least 12:30, 1 o'clock at night. And try doing that going 0 for 10 on your appointments. 0 for 10, 3 hours away. You just blanked. You spent several $100s in leads, and now you got to drive home and you got a 3 hour drive at night, just you and the wheels and the dotted lines on the highway. And guess what's going through my mind? What's going through my mind is like, I freaking love this business. God, these leads are beautiful. Not going through my mind. No, it was like, if I go through one more house 3 hours away and don't make a sale, I'm gonna, right? But guess what?
Mhm.
I didn't leave myself up to my lack of knowledge and experience in the business. What I left myself up to was the knowledge and the advice from those that had gone before me. And it was like, okay, they're making money, then I'm going to do what they say to do because I want to make the money they're making, right? And
Mhm.
when I did what they said to do, I started making money. When I tried to do it my way or what I thought was best, I struggled. And what I just want to challenge you with is like you're going to get beat up, especially in the beginning, because you're going to suck. I sucked in the beginning. Erynne sucked in the beginning, not as bad as I did, but she sucked in the beginning. We all suck in the beginning. When you go get a
Mhm.
job at McDonald's, you're going to suck. You're going to look at that big electronic thing on the front counter with all those colored buttons and all, and you're going to be like, I don't know what the hell. And somebody's going to be over your shoulder pushing the buttons for you. Yep, if they want a Big Mac, no cheese, you do the Big Mac minus cheese. And you sit there and watch them do it, and you're embarrassed as you know what with the line of people. 'Cause you don't know how to put in a Big Mac in the McDonald's cash register drawer thingy, and the manager's sitting there showing you how to do it. Well, you don't sit there and be like, I'll figure it out. I'll just, no, if you want a job, you do it the way they teach you to do it. Why? Because they're going to pay you, and all you have to do is come back tomorrow and do the same thing. Well, guess what? 2 months into your shift, you don't need somebody standing over your shoulder telling you how to do it. In fact, 2 months into your shift, you're probably training the new rookie that's coming on, teaching them how to mash the colored buttons on the cash register. So if you'll do
Mhm.
that at McDonald's for $7 an hour because you got a job and they'll pay you if you do what they say, why wouldn't you do that in an opportunity where you can go make $70 an hour, $700 an hour? Because like our top agents, like Erynne here, every time she goes out and dials and does virtual sales or goes and runs appointments in Birmingham, whether it's 3 minutes or 3 hours away, and she comes back home and her paycheck at the end of each week is $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 and more, because she's doing what she was taught without the excuses, without the well, I just don't understand. Yeah, but if I lay your pride down, say, hey, you show me an opportunity and give me an example. And that's exactly what we're doing. We're showing you an opportunity. We're giving you an example. And it was just, I'm just telling you, it was just like, man, what if I would have quit? What if one of those drives back from Sumter, South Carolina, I'd have said, F this business doesn't
Mhm.
work. These leads are stupid. They're crap. Making me
Mhm.
buy all these leads and ain't get shit for it. Like if that was my mentality and I quit, guess what? I don't know. Would I be at McDonald's somewhere? I don't know where I would be. But it's crazy to think about where I would be if I'd have given up and quit, because I knew better than the people that were trying to teach me. I was too proud to do it the way they taught me. And I'm
And
just
it's
like,
usually that first step after that it's situation, it turns for you because you kept taking the steps.
yeah. I mean, it's just there's clients still on the books from 13 years ago from driving down there when I didn't give up the first time I went down and blanked the entire day of appointments, 3 hours away. I didn't give up. And now it's like y'all can sit here in your underwear and call leads all day long and run up
Mhm.
virtual appointments all day long. And it's like Erynne said, hey, be prepared. It's not as easy as sitting in your underwear making sales. It's as simple as sitting in your underwear making sales because it's doable. You got to put the
Mhm.
work in. So while my ass was driving in a car 3 hours away, thinking, please God, let me make some sales, your ass might be sitting in your chair thinking, please God, let me make some sales, but you're not burning gas. Your leads are a lot cheaper. So what Erynne was trying to say was, hey, we got to be realistic here and understand what we do. Be very clear. It's simple. It's not easy. It's simple. It takes work. It takes effort. And that is why it's so important to make sure that you're staying in touch with the person that invited you in, that got you in, or what we call your growing up line, the person that's in your hierarchy above you, that's actually putting the work in, and they're investing, training the agents, teaching them, showing them how to do it, leading by example, making sales, building a business. Those are the ones you want to plug into and ask them, hey, what does it look like? Because I'm telling you, and I know everybody's situation is different. Everybody's family situation has different variables. Um, and it's just like with everything you got going on, you might think, well, you just don't understand. I may not understand like exactly what you're going through, but I understand you're dealing with shit. I'm dealing with shit. She's dealing with shit. We're all dealing with shit. The
It's
question
life.
is, are we just going to sit in it and complain about it? Or are we going to start slinging that shit and go make some money? And so
Mhm.
when we say, hey, here's the different types of leads, but understand this type over here, you're going to have to hit the ground. You're going to have to go see people. You're going to have to sit in the homes. If you can, I would encourage you to do it that way first, because it's
Mhm.
easier to transition from sitting in a home. I've flicked cockroaches off my computer screen, my laptop. I have flicked cockroaches off. I have watched them scurry under floorboards that had holes in it that you could see the cement ground underneath the floorboards. And guess what? While you might think, holy crap, you're not getting $30 a month out of that trailer trash, I've walked out of places like that with $750 a month in premium. Why? Because a lead came in and somebody was asking for help. And I didn't prejudge it. I didn't sit there and think, oh,
Mhm.
that comes from that side of town. Show up at their house. They got shutters falling off a modular home with holes in the floor. And just you automatically start thinking, I'm wasting my time. God, that's a person that asked for help. And that's a lead where somebody has said, this is a concern to me. And the question is, are you going to treat it like somebody that needs help, or are you going to treat it like they're not going to make me enough money? That right there is going to
Mhm.
determine which track you go in this business. Is it going to be one of success and changing the lives for a lot of people? Or is it going to be one of, I'm struggling, I'm frustrated, I'm broke, blah, 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 because you're looking too down on people thinking that's beneath me, or they won't ever buy, they're in too poverty of a condition, or those leads are crap, or blah. It's about your perspective and your attitude. And I'm telling you right now, there's a lot of people on these calls that have sat there and are sitting there and are doing this over and over and over and over. And we're saying, hey guys, here's the way. Come and do it with us. It's up to you to say, hey, I'm going to learn. I'm going to ask questions. I'm going to plug in. And I'm going to close with this because I told her we're keeping it shorter. And I'm
Mhm.
way, God dang. I will
That's
close with
how passionate we are.
yes, yes. Yeah, at least I'm not going until 9:45 and beyond like I used to, but I'm getting close. All right, I'm wrapping up. Seriously. Um, I'll leave it with this part for this. If at the end of the day, the leads that we have, the resources, the system that we have, it's there for whoever wants to come in and just take advantage. And there are some people, Erynne Wilson, in her first full year with us, well, I say full year, she didn't even work a full year. She came in like March. Her first year with us made 120,000. My first full year in NAA 14 years ago, I made 75,000. I was working a day a week, but it was a far cry different from what I was used to. People like Erynne come in and they make 100 grand, 6 figures their first year. Nick came in 6 figures his first year. Mike came in 6 figures his first year. You can come in and blow the lid off this thing. But the key that was the same about all of them, the common denominator was teach me, show me how to do this, and I'll go to work. I will go do it. And the agents that are plugging in and asking their upline for help and reaching out for help, those are the ones that are getting the attention. That squeaky wheel gets the grease. Those are the ones that are getting the attention because they're plugged in. So if you're not going to plug in, if you're not going to follow instructions, then when you feel like crisis mode is hitting and I need help from my upline and they need to, give them something to work with. Be teachable. All right. And next week, and again, we could go on and on just about basic lead types. Next week, Erynne is going to talk about investing in those leads, how to invest in your business by investing in leads and being real with you. Hey, what does that look like? And then the week after that, I'm going to do some more training on how to take those leads and work them to the bone and make the most out of it. And then week 4, we're going to have a special host, Eric Belair, one of the Alliance's top producers year after year after year. He's going to come and he's going to come in and kind of recap everything. And you're going to be able to hear him basically say exactly what we're saying with his own version, his own side of it, his own stories, his own perspective from somebody that is consistently making, 5, 6, 700,000 a year in the Alliance by doing what we do. So at the end of the day, guys, what we're doing is we're taking these calls, we're trying to scale them back and do more like 3-4 part series on the basics of insurance. And there's nothing more basic than the lifeblood of your business, the leads. And we're teaching you how to maximize those, take advantage of them, and then eventually how to wean yourself off of them to where you don't need a lead system anymore. So it's a lot of good stuff coming out over the next couple of weeks on that. Last thing, since I didn't mention at the beginning, May 16th through the 18th. May 16th through the 18th. Start getting your travel plans. We're doing our team Legacy Life team training in Las Vegas.
Yay.
Yeah, it's going to be a blast. May 16th through the 18th. Clear your calendars for that. Marissa, that goes for you too. Clear your calendars for that. May 16th to 18th, we're going to go party and learn in Vegas. It's going to be a great time. Look forward to seeing y'all there. Erynne, anything else?
The only thing I want to say is no matter what you're starting with tomorrow, a dial or an appointment, it started kind of, you can get in your head in this business. And Mike did the best thing right before I went into my next appointment after probably like 3 crappy ones at the beginning of my year. He said, Erynne, take the lead. Her name is Barbara. Focus on the task. Don't focus on the sell. Don't focus, what are they going to say? Or what if, or they don't remember. Focus on, okay, Miss Barbara, how can I help her? Focus on the task of when you're dialing. Take you out of it and zone in on who you're calling. Be attentive on the phone. It makes the biggest difference. And be mentally attentive on them in person. And that you'll start seeing things change. So I would start implementing that tomorrow. If it's a dial session or your first appointment, focus on who's on that lead. They're the person you're taking care of. Then it all falls in place. God has you. All right. Thank y'all.
Love it.
And I'll
God
be
has
sending
you.
everything in Telegram right now.
Yep. All right, guys. See you here this time next week, 9 o'clock Eastern time. Love y'all. See you soon.
Bye.